Welcome everyone. Today I'm excited to highlight the incredible effort by Croí Heart Stroke charity in their 5-day cycle tour through the Alps. Facing a mix of sunny skies and challenging weather, these riders pushed through every obstacle to raise awareness for heart health and stroke prevention. Their determination reminds us all of the importance of endurance, both in life and in their fight against heart disease. You can check out their website and make a donation in the link in the description below. Staying overnight at the top of the iconic Alpe d'Huez, on the first day after building bikes we tackled the challenging Col du Galibier before heading to the short but stunning Lacets de Montvernier via the scenic Pas de la Confession road just below Alpe d'Huez. Dropping down the Pas de la Confession, we arrived at the base of the first climb of the day, the Col du Galibier. We'll see you at the cafe. Okay. Yeah. Col du Galibier is a legendary climb in the French Alps, often featured in the Tour de France. At an elevation of 1,924 metres, it's a real challenge for riders. The climb is long and gruelling, 22.4 kilometres from the town of Alpine, with an average gradient of 5.1%. But don't let that fool you, because some sections spike to over 10%. What makes the Galibier unique is its unpredictable nature. The first part of the climb is relatively steep, but after 7 kilometres there is a switchback descent before it starts its long and winding route past the EDF hydro dam to its summit. Riders can hit walls of wind near the summit, which adds an extra layer of difficulty. It's not as famous as its neighbours like Alpe d'Huez or Galibier, but it's often used as a key part of mountain stages in the Tour. It first appeared in the Tour de France way back in 1947 and has since been featured over a dozen times. Riders often tackle the Galibier on their way to the Col de la Croix de Fer. The descent from the Col du Galibier is a fast, winding drop with sweeping hairpins and stunning alpine views. As you descend, the valley opens up and you reach the base of the iconic Lacets de Montvernier. This is a spectacular climb featuring 18 tight, stacked up hairpin switchbacks offering breathtaking views of the valley below. The ascent is short but steep, with narrow roads and dramatic drops. After reaching the summit, the descent towards Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne is fast and flowing. On day 2 we woke up to beautiful sunshine in the Maurienne Valley to ride the Col de la Madeleine and its less famous neighbour, the Col du Galibier. The Col de la Madeleine is one of the most iconic climbs in the French Alps, standing at 2,000 metres. It has been a key stage in the Tour de France over 25 times, challenging riders with its relentless 20-kilometre ascent and an average gradient of over 8%. Located between the valley of Maurienne and Tarentaise, it offers stunning views but tests even the best climbers. Its place in Tour history is cemented by epic battles and breakaways on its gruelling slopes. There are 2 southern ascents of the climb, and we took the less well-known ascent from Les Chambres that passes through the small mountain village of Montgallafray. The route is quieter and offers stunning alpine scenery as you pass through meadows and forests, gradually revealing panoramic views of the surrounding peaks. Although it's less famous, it's equally demanding, making it a hidden gem for experienced cyclists seeking a tough, rewarding ascent. After a quick stop to regroup in Saint-François-Longchamp and take a breather, the cyclists rejoin the main route for the last 5 kilometres of the ascent to the summit. What goes up obviously has to come down, so after the obligatory summit photos, the cyclists enjoyed a 15-kilometre switchback descent down the more famous southern route in readiness for the final climb of the day, the Col du Galibier. The Col du Galibier, at 1,533 metres, offers a quieter ascent when approached from the Col de la Madeleine side. This less travelled route begins 15 kilometres from the summit of the Madeleine and features a 9-kilometre climb with an average gradient of around 6 or 7%. The climb, as with most alpine climbs, is scenic, passing through tranquil alpine meadows and offering breathtaking views of the Maurienne Valley. While the Col du Galibier doesn't have an extensive Tour de France history, it did feature in the 2015 edition. On day 3, we again awoke to beautiful sunshine. After a ride through the valley, first up was the Col du Galibier. The climb often features in the Tour de France, and at 1,566 metres, over 12 kilometres with an average gradient of around 7%, serves as the warm-up for the more challenging Col du Galibier. But before you tackle the Galibier, there is a 5-kilometre descent into Valois, which is not overly technical, making it popular among cyclists who enjoy speed but prefer less demanding routes. Climbing the Col du Galibier from Valois is one of the most challenging and iconic routes in cycling, and the high point of the Croi More Than 21 Bends Tour. The Col du Galibier has a long history with the Tour de France. It first appeared in the race in 1911 and has since become a legendary climb, often serving as a key stage in determining the race winner. The elevation gain is substantial, taking you from 1,400 metres at Valois to 2,642 metres at the summit. The higher sections of the climbs often exceed gradients of 8 to 10%, particularly in the last 8 kilometres. However, one thing to note is the unpredictable weather. Due to the high altitude, the weather can change rapidly on the Galibier. Even in summer, it's not uncommon to experience sudden drops in temperature, gusty winds or even snowfall. Luckily for us, we did not experience snow, but the weather did come in, becoming wet and cold. For most of the riders, this was the end of the day for them as they hopped into the More Than 21 Bends minibus for the descent back to Bourg d'Oisans. However, Keith, one of the riders, decided to tackle the descent all the way to Bourg d'Oisans, and here is some of the footage he took at the top of the climb. Unfortunately for our riders, the bad weather on the Galibier followed us into the next day at our base in Bourg d'Oisans. Thursday's ride was due to be Alpe d'Huez and the Col de Suresnes. However, with the weather, it was decided to just tackle outdoors with the option of a minibus ride back down to Bourg d'Oisans. Cycling outdoors is a challenge on any day, but when it rains it turns into a true test of skill and grit. The climb is relentless at 13.8 kilometers with an average gradient of 8.1%, and it forces you to battle through its legendary 21 hairpin bends, each marked with a sign honouring past Tour de France stage winners. Since 1952, when Fastel Coppi first won here, it's been the backdrop for some of the greatest battles in the Tour de France. Riders like Tom Pidcock, Marco Pantani and Geraint Thomas have all left their mark on this mountain. Pantani's 1997 record, ascent of 37 minutes and 35 seconds, still stands as one of the fastest ever. While we are on outdoors, let's watch and listen to Mark, the chief exec from Croi, who explains what Croí Heart Stroke Foundation do and also some of his thoughts on the cycling week.
Croi is the West of Ireland Cardiac and Stroke Foundation. We're a registered charity and non-profit based in Galway in the west of Ireland. Our mission is focused around the prevention of heart disease and stroke, and we've recently completed the first ever Croi Alpine Cycle Challenge in the French Alps. We've had a super week supported by our tour partner, more than 21 bends. Riders have taken in spectacular climbs and descents and a really challenging route across 5 days. All in all, a super experience, and we're looking forward to repeating it again in 2025.
In the rain, the climb feels longer and the challenge greater, but making it through those 21 bends from the lower ramps to the final stretch through the village and onto the summit at 1,860 metres is a rite of passage for any cyclist. Bend 7 on outdoors is famously known as the Dutch Corner, a spot where cycling fans from the Netherlands gather in massive crowds during the Tour de France. It's a sea of orange with wild cheering and incredible energy, and maybe a little bit too much alcohol. The views might be obscured by clouds and the ride down even more treacherous, but there's a unique satisfaction in conquering outdoors under these tougher conditions. On day 5, we woke up at our base in Le Bourg d'Oisans to beautiful blue skies. Today, in a change of plan due to the previous day's bad weather, we took on the Col du Galibier from its harder northern ascent. Despite our group of cyclists already climbing 13 kilometres out of Le Bourg d'Oisans, our journey begins at the Lac de Chambon Dam, setting off on the ascent to the Col du Galibier. As they pedalled away from the tranquil turquoise water of the lake, the landscape starts to unfold with dramatic mountain scenery. The gradient is challenging right from the get-go, with each twist and turn offering a new vista and an invitation to dig a little deeper. The climb to the Col du Galibier is renowned for its demanding nature, and it doesn't disappoint. The road winds steadily upwards with sections that test both endurance and determination. The lush green meadows give way to rugged terrain as you rise above the tree line. For me, the Col du Galibier is one of the most exhilarating climbs in the French Alps. With each switchback, the sense of accomplishment builds and the summit feels ever closer. Here, the air is crisp and the views are nothing short of breathtaking. At the top of the Col du Galibier, we took a moment to appreciate the panorama of peaks and valleys that stretched out before us. From the 1,999 metre summit of the Col du Galibier, there is a 7 kilometre undulating descent back to Alpe d'Huez. It's a well-earned reward for the efforts expended, a place to catch your breath and marvel at the true beauty of the Alps. Once in Alpe d'Huez, the road ahead opens up, offering a series of exhilarating turns and steep gradients that provides the cyclist with a heart-pounding descent of the 21 bends back to Le Bourg d'Oisans. But did you count them? Are there more than 21 bends? As the cyclists rolled into the final stretch of their incredible journey, we reflected on the monumental challenge that they've conquered. From the majestic Col du Galibier, where the climb tested their mettle, to the iconic Alpe d'Huez with its legendary 21 hairpin bends, every ascent and descent has been a testament to their commitment and endurance. We tackled the Col de la Madeleine with its breathtaking views and demanding gradients, and navigated the stunning Lacets de Montvernier, where the serpentine road offered both challenges and beauty. Each individual stage of this tour has been a remarkable adventure, showcasing the grandeur of the Alps. This event has been more than just a cycling challenge. It's been a heartfelt mission to support the Croí Heart Stroke Foundation. In partnership with us, more than 21 Vens, we came together not only to test our limits but to make a meaningful difference in the fight against heart disease and stroke. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also let us know in the comments below what your favourite alpine climb is. Perhaps it features in this video or is another one from a different part of the Alps. Finally, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on more adventures, and consider visiting our website to check out some of the other holidays we arrange in France.